we were talking about covenants and stuff like that, and a pastor was talking about, I'm married, I got a church. Look, I got a church, I got a big church, I got this, and how you gonna tell me that I got to get out of covenants and I got this going on, I got that going? You're asymptomatic.
Oh my God. You think you're thriving, but you're harboring. And could what you're harboring be thriving in you?
Yo, because that is the most dangerous position to be in. The cancer is growing.
It's growing. It's spreading.
No, seriously. God have mercy.
Could it be
God have mercy.
that you now become a breeding ground
God have mercy.
for viruses? You know, in order to protect you from the flu, they give you a flu shot, which is injecting you with the thing that they are trying to protect you from, so that your body can get used
to it.
So that it has a greater propensity to experience it and not be affected by it. Help me.
No.
We are creating spaces now. What the enemy wants to do is to create opportunities for us to experience it and not be affected by it. So now we start to diminish our consciousness of sin. So now it no longer, it diminishes my ability to discern. It diminishes my ability to have conviction. And now I am not driven and I am not prone to be as intentional because I've been exposed to it. And now I've grown used to it. And now I'm in a space now where it no longer harms me the way it used to.
Talk about dull. What did you say about dull?
Because the enemy doesn't need you dead. He just needs you dull.
Okay, I can lead.
Because if he gets you dull, you don't have the same potency. You don't have the same fervor. You don't have the same sharpness to be able to penetrate, to be able to create impact. And now you become more where you're just blending in instead of standing out, when you are the ecclesia, the called out, where God is trying to say, I don't need you to look like them. I don't need your business to look like that. I don't need your ministry to mirror this. I'm trying to do something new in you, but because you keep exposing yourself to these viruses in small capacities, you are now diminishing your consciousness and awareness of my voice, and it starts to diminish your ability to hear me, to identify me, to discern where I am, to discern what I do, and we miss cues and we miss opportunities to have daily bread experiences because I have interacted with this virus on such small capacities now that I don't even detect when I am in a full-blown viral attack. Now, I don't even detect when there's a full-blown viral infection because I got so used to it. I got so used to watered down sermons. I got so used to doing business with different practices and not doing business with integrity. I got so used to fussing and arguing with my spouse. I got so used to not listening and spending time with my kids. I got so used to cussing out people when they cut me off. I got so used to playing the devil's music and soundtrack in my ears. I got so used to cutting myself. I got so used to doing harm to me, to talking bad to me. I got so used to it that I couldn't even detect when it was infecting my entire being, and how much of what the enemy has been doing has been infecting us with small doses. Jesus has been infecting us with small doses. It's been slipping it into our conversations. It's been slipping it into our algorithms. It's been slipping it into our business practices. It's been slipping it into our ministries. It's been slipping it into our sermon prep. It's been slipping it into the songs that we select. It's been slipping into everything that we do in small capacities that we don't even identify that we have a full-blown viral infection that's going on around us, and we can't even hear and have access to the antidote. We can't even get access to the cure because I don't even know that I'm sick. I don't even know that I'm sick. I'm walking around fully with a full-blown viral infection, walking around with a full-blown viral infection that I'm spreading.
Oh my God.
Everything I come in contact with, I'm making people sick, but it's not hitting me because I don't know that I'm sick because I spent so much time with it. My immune system has developed this proclivity around it to now it protects me Even though I'm in the presence of this virus, it protects me. Even though I'm experiencing it, even though I'm having these demonic interactions, that now I'm so insulated and so used to it that I can't tell a demon from God's voice. I can't tell when Satan is talking and when Jesus is talking. And this is why we got to get to a place where we can heighten our discernment and create spaces for us to tap into the cure, the antidote, so that we don't allow hell's strategy, which is bit by bit, moment by moment, so that we can be more intentional. This is how we can, if we just follow the prescription to seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. If that's my practice, if that's my strategy, if I'm seeking God on how to love my wife, if I'm seeking God on how to raise my children, if I'm seeking God on how to do this ministry, if I'm seeking God on how to do business, if I'm seeking God on how to treat my body and what to put in my body and what to resist, if I'm seeking first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, his right standing, his right perspective, then I'm less inclined to now perpetuate these viruses, to be open for the small doses of the enemy to slip in certain conversations, to slip in certain aspects of temptation, where now you're at work and because you had an argument with your wife, now here comes this lady who's trying to compliment you and tell you how good you are, and now you miss the opportunity to discern that this is a trap because you spent so much time with the virus.
Oh my God.
You spent so much time feeding and cultivating your immune system around the virus that you're no longer immune to it. That you're no longer, that now you create this place now that it's infecting all of you and you can't even tell.
Oh my God.
It's infecting everything. It's infecting everything, bro. Hell is spreading its influence, infecting everything, even in what we share, even in the things that are not sinful. But it doesn't have to be sinful to be carnal. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spirit minded is life. And we got to get to a space where I'm stopping the train of cultivating carnality.
Come on, bro.
Because it's those small doses of carnality, the things that aren't sinful. It's the small doses of him consistently putting carnality into our perspective, the fleshly perspective, that you're more inclined to and geared to share the things that are funny, or share the things that are social, share the things that are carnal. You're so consumed with sports, you're so consumed with fashion, you're so consumed with food that we don't even share our faith, that when something comes across that pricks your soul, that we're more concerned about sharing and posting and reposting all of the things that matter to us, to our topics, to our brands, to our algorithms, things that people are going to like. But when something comes that pricks you, you're silent about it. When something comes that actually stirs up your soul, you just take that and say that for you, because we're so consumed with sharing the virus.
Oh my God.
Help me, Holy Ghost. Go, bro.
It is the problem of ignorance sometimes, bro. Holy Ghost just used you right now. Ignorance, right? If I'm carrying something that's infectious, I'm careless when I'm ignorant.
Oh my.
STD, right? They talk about STDs. The danger of STDs is you not getting tested and knowing you have it.
Yeah.
So even the act of intimacy becomes a criminal act.
Oh my God.
And so now you're in violation because you were not vigilant enough to assess what's actually going on, and you're unaware, or you're ignorant, or you're dismissive of what's happening in you. I think, bro, this conversation is so necessary because we have a lot of contagious Christians,
Oh my.
contagious pastors that are influencing, whether knowingly and unknowingly, and are infecting others to death.
Oh my God.
And God wants us to take a halt. It makes me think of, there was a time I had a Jeep, man. It's a Jeep Commander. I used to love that Jeep. Got to a point, man, when the seatbelt stopped working, and every time I got in the car, it would just beep relentlessly. And it used to annoy the heck out of me.
Yeah.
Until I got used to it. That the signal for me to be safe and to move carefully now became the soundtrack of my ride.
Oh my God.
And it got to a point that even when other signals came up in the car, I began to allow it to assimilate so much so that I'm just used to my car beeping. So even when the check engine light came up, I'm just like, lights come on in this car that I ignore.
Oh my God.
That's just what I do. I ignore signals that this car gives me because I've conditioned myself to closing off my ears to the signs that my car is throwing at me, until inevitably the car failed, not because it didn't warn me, but because I allowed myself to get used to the warnings, and I now began to misinterpret it into a soundtrack. And so now my ears were not tuned or in tune with the beeping. It no longer bothered me because now it's almost like I elevated my range of hearing so that I no longer even heard it. If it wasn't loud music blasting, I didn't even hear the beep. My wife would get in the car and say, "Doesn't that annoy you?" And I would say, "What?"
Oh my God. You'd have no awareness of the thing that was meant to annoy you, to warn you.
Wow. What? What are you talking about? I don't hear it. They're always talking about our folks and the way that we keep them batteries on, the batteries unchanged in those fire alarms.
Yeah,
Smoke detectors. And we'll hear that chirp, chirp, chirp until it gets to a point, and someone will be like, "You don't hear that? Hear what?" Hear the sound of the device that was planted in your home
Yeah.
to keep you from destruction.
But we won't pay attention to it until someone else comes into the home. Until we open up and allow someone in so that they can bring awareness to the signs and warnings that I've ignored. This is why isolation is so critical for us to break, because if I'm isolated,
Come on, bro.
and insulated, because whenever I'm isolated, I'm insulated.
Come on.
I am now conditioning myself to grow less. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm disciplining myself to be less inclined to do something about the signs and the signals. I'm conditioning myself because it's almost as if I'm forcing myself to get used to the warning.
Oh my God.
I'm forcing myself to try to get used to it. And when I'm isolated, it will just beep and beep and beep.
No.
Until the battery dies.
No.
And then when there's actually smoke, I won't have the signal, because the signal tells me what's coming. The smoke alarm lets me know when there's smoke in the house before it gets to me.
Smoke alarm is just grace because it's just warning you of smoke, not flames.
Oh my God.
Isn't it grace, bro? It's warning you of, it's a signal warning you of a signal.
Oh
fire.
My God. I'm signaling you about the signal to warn you about the warning of what's actually there. Oh my God. I'm just warning you about smoke.
Symptoms, right, are signals of sickness. I was just talking about, you talk about that isolation. The symptoms are just signals. They're telling us that something in our body is not right. But then what happens when the symptoms becomes part of our routine, our behavior, and our personality? I was just talking about it today. I just sneeze a lot. That's me. That's who I am.
So we start to build identity around symptoms. God have mercy. Symptomatic identity. So I start shaping my life and how I identify myself with the symptom that I'm experiencing. And the symptom is just to let me know that I need to do something about this.
I'm just seasonally depressed.
Oh my
I'm just overly sexualized and I'm perverted. That's just who I am. I don't remember when I wasn't like this.
And bro, I did a teaching on this. Is that the fact of the matter is you're not cursed, you're conditioned.
Come, talk to me, man.
You're not cursed. You've been conditioned by this. Because you talked about how since you moved to Atlanta, everything that's in the air is causing you to sneeze a lot. So I'm not cursed to perpetually sneeze for the rest of my life. I'm conditioned to the atmosphere. I'm conditioned to what's in this air. I'm conditioned to what's in this environment. This is how we can switch up and have this duplicity of identity, that I'm here one way and then I'm here another way because I'm conditioned to the environment so that when I step into this environment, it elicits a certain reaction, a certain personality, and now I'm more inclined to react according to the environment. This is why it was so important to continue the aspects of prayer because prayer is establishing God's environment.
That's
and now
good.
I'm conditioned to that environment. Do you know that the discoveries and teams of people have never been able to locate Eden? That to this day, no one has ever been able to locate Eden. Eden within itself means presence.
Oh my gosh.
So when God established Eden, he established his presence as the environment that man was supposed to survive in.
That's good.
So now when he places man in his presence, in the environment, now Adam starts to condition himself to the environment. But as soon as the fall happened, he was now conditioned to being apart from the presence of God. And isn't it funny how the first murder in the Bible where Cain killed Abel took place as soon as man was outside of the presence of God?
That's good.
So we're conditioned now to believe that the symptom is the identity. When all it means is I must be out of position. See, when I start getting irritable, bro, I realize that that's an indication that I'm either tired, I need to eat something, maybe the temperature's off.
Oh my gosh.
So when I start to feel a little bit of irritability, I don't lean into that symptom and start reacting from an irritable perspective and start snapping at people. I start to realize, okay, I'm a little snappy. What do I need to do? Do I need to take a nap? Do I need to just pause? Do I need to eat something? But what we'll do is we'll prioritize our production and then we'll perpetuate the symptoms so long that now, there are just aspects of, and I've done this several times, where you push past your rest threshold.
Yes.
And then now, even though you're exhausted, you've pushed past it and now you're no longer tired.
Yes.
Because you have forced your body to believe that because the body works on the environmental systems of the sun rising and the sun setting, that the body starts to set down, that your body starts to release aspects of melatonin.
Yes.
So you have your own melatonin in your body. And then when the sun goes down, it releases the melatonin to start to tell your body it's time to wind down.
No.
But if I push past that, now I'm forcing the body to say, no, this is not a rest moment. We got to work. And then it wakes back up.
Yes.
So now what I do is I perpetuate the symptom that I pushed past because now I'm in a space that I'm exhausted and I'm snapping at everybody because I'm prioritizing my production. Because I got to keep going. I got to keep moving. I can't take a time to rest. I can't take time to eat a meal. And now I'm snapping at everybody because I ignored the signs.
Come on.
Because the symptom now is just my identity. And when I push past it for so long, then guess what happened? Not only do I label myself that way, but then people label me that way. And instead of seeing peace and joy and long suffering, they say, oh, he's mean. Oh, no, don't go talk to him. Like he's gonna snap at you. Oh, you know what? Don't even have that interaction with him. He's just gonna get defensive because I ignored the signs, and now I start to embrace the symptom as the identity, and I'm not cursed by it. I've just been conditioned to have the mentality that I just have to keep going, that I don't have time to stop. Look at the strategy of the enemy. The strategy of the enemy is to put you in places of exhaustion.
Oh my God.
To work you past your rest threshold, because then what happens is you prioritize your ability over God's ability.
Oh my gosh.
It takes trust to rest.
There we go. Go there.
It takes trust to stop.
Go there.
It takes trust. Bro, I was talking to one of my best friends, and he's in a major position in a major global organization that affects pretty much and touches everyone. And he said, you know what, man, I was taking on this and I was taking on that, and so many things are happening, and I took today and tomorrow off. And everybody was like, how can you do that? Aren't you afraid of being fired? He said, no. I know who I am, and I know my God. The level of his trust to rest, to be able to say, because this job is just a resource.
Oh my gosh.
And we keep elevating resources as sources. So now I keep pushing past, and I'm perpetuating the symptom because I'm elevating the resource as a source. So now I keep working myself past this threshold, and now I'm responding in ways that I normally wouldn't respond. The reason why, when I get tired, bro, how I know I got to take a nap, because I'm less likely to respond in the way that I know that I normally would. I'm less likely to do the things, to say the things, to see the things that I normally would see. This is how people get in crashes.
Oh my God.
When they're tired and they're driving at night.
Oh my gosh.
And the things that you normally would see, if you've ever been tired where you're about to fall asleep at the wheel, your vision gets blurry. And so because your eyes are getting lower, and now you're focused, you can't really focus.
Oh my God.
And you don't really see that this car is merging into your lane. Or you don't really see that this animal is running across the street, and you don't really see that there's somebody that's trying to cross in the middle of the street, because of my focus, and I miss it. And then now I'm running into things and I'm crashing because I refuse to rest, because my identity has been shaped by my symptom. And to now think that all what I do is I push what I do.
Oh my gosh.
We've embraced grinding as an identity.
Oh my gosh.
When grinding was the curse.
Talk about it. And this is why, in the midst, before God told Adam that he should be fruitful and multiply, right before that it says, and God blessed them in Genesis chapter 1, verse 28, and God blessed them. And I started to now interpret God's blessing to mean more than just God did a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
God's blessing was the prerequisite for Adam's assignment.
Yeah.
Meaning, before God ever calls you to do anything, he blesses you for it. And so it gives us the audacity to walk into the places that God calls us to, because we're blessed for it. In other words, equipped for it. And when we trust God, and when we see how even God said it's not good for man to be alone, he calls Adam to go into a deep sleep or rest. And God formed out of Adam's womb a helpmeet that was suitable for him, which tells me a couple things. One, in Adam's rest, it created a canvas for God to be able to freely provide Adam with not just a good thing, but the right thing.
Yes.
And so this is why we're frustrated with purpose and even getting the things that we thought we wanted, because the things that we want can only tend to portions of us. When God blessed Adam with his wife, he blessed Adam out of the abundance of his knowledge of who Adam was fully. So he said, I'm giving you a helpmeet that is suitable, which is meaning I'm giving you someone that is custom made for who I know you to not just be now,
oh my God,
but to be tomorrow.
Come on.
And so now I don't have to wrestle with the gifts of God, because I realize that out of the rest, the abundance of rest, God provided with me what I didn't even know I needed.
Yeah.
Adam didn't say, God, I don't feel good.
Mm.
God, it's not good for me to be alone. God thought it up himself
Yeah.
that it's not good for you to be alone. There are ways that we exist and we're frustrated about certain things, and God says that's not even an issue. I know what you need,
Yeah.
and I can bless you with what you need. If you could lean on me, if you could just rest in me and trust that I got your back, while you rest, I'm cooking.
Come on.
Ooh,
Come on.
can you smell? While you're resting, I'm cooking, and I'm not just making a good thing, I'm making the right thing. Could we rest, which will allow us to not be frustrated in the patience and in the wait?
Yeah.
Because I know whatever God is cooking up, it is the exact thing that I need, not just for the me now, but for the me tomorrow, for the me that might be going through this trial, for the me that's going to be promoted,
Yep.
for the me that's going to be walking into new territory. God has seen my end from the beginning. So as he's forming what he's forming for me, I'm okay in the wait. I can sleep a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I can hit the snooze and say, God, you got this.
Yeah.
I know you. I don't got to step in. I don't got to come in with my plan B. Adam didn't wake up and say, God, are you sure you know what you're doing? And it seemed like if he would have woke up, he would have said, stop, God, you're taking something from me.
Oh my God.
Hold on, you're
I
taking.
need this rib.
I need this.
Oh my God.
So if we're trusting God, in the midst of trusting God, what we allow God to do is, from the outside looking in, you thought I lost something.
Talk.
Y'all thought something was taken from me.
Talk.
But if you would have only knew what he was cooking, you would have realized it was the ingredients. What you thought was taken from me, what you thought I lost, were the very ingredients necessary for God to provide me with the exact thing that I needed.
Oh my God. You can't cook an egg in the shell. You gotta crack it. You know what? I was thinking about when we talking that cooking talk, is that whenever there's a big holiday and I'm a wife, I'm a mom, and it's Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
they get up well before everyone else. And honestly, they start cooking the night before.
The night before. Let's go.
And while they're cooking and preparing,
Come on.
I have a proclivity
Come on.
to want to, let me get a piece of that.
Yeah.
But it ain't ready yet. So I have to sit and watch them cook.
Oh my God.
And work through the process and their ingredients. And then even when it's ready, this portion is ready.
Oh.
I still have to wait for the whole meal.
Oh my gosh.
See, we keep settling for dishes when God has prepared a table before me in the presence of my enemies. See, we won't wait on the table.
Oh my gosh.
We want to settle for the countertop. We just want, okay, well, this is ready. Let me get some of this. Because it looks so good. I need this now. I'm smelling it. I'm seeing it. I've seen people posting their meals, and I'm seeing people posting their businesses. I need this now. It's like J.G. Wentworth, 877 cash now. It's like we're in this place now where we want it now. It's my money. And don't that sound like the prodigal son?
Yes.
That this is my inheritance, that this is my gifting, that this is my calling. I want it now. And God is saying, if you just let me cook, if you let me cook, if you just, matter of fact, go to bed, lay down, go to sleep, it'll be ready tomorrow.
Ooh.
This is how he could say that there is joy in the morning.
Oh, that's good.
Even in your darkest moments, where you're in a space now where you're saying, God, it's the worst. Let me cook, because in due season you will reap if you faint not. But you got to go through the cooking process. And not only do you have to watch me cook, there's sometimes where I got to toss you in the oven, because you may be the missing ingredient for your bloodline. So now I got to throw you in there, and I know it's hot, and you want to get out the pan, and you're in here, and it's on 400 degrees, and you've been in here for 2-3 minutes, and you've been in here for 45 minutes, and you've been in here for 2 years, and it's been 5 years, and it's been 10 years, but I'm still cooking. I'm still cooking, because I can pull you out and you not be done in the middle. I can pull you out, and there'll be pieces that are still raw. And if you consume things when they're not ready, I have more, I am at greater risk I'm at greater risk of having food poisoning. I'm at greater risk at having purpose poisoning. I'm having greater risk at having calling poisoning. I'm having greater risk of having platform poisoning because I didn't allow God to develop the things in me that needed to be developed for when he wanted to present me.